The title of our historical document is Magellan's Voyage Around the World by Pigafetta, and we are the Group 1.
A brief summary of Magellan's voyage around the world. This event is all about the first circumnavigation of the world, led by a Portuguese sailor named Hernando de Magallanes, also known as Ferdinand Magellan in English, where he departed from San Cular de Barrameda to sail and find the Spice Islands. But when Ferdinand Magellan reached the Philippines, he fought a battle that where he was overpowered and lost his life, resulting his fleet to fled. After fleeing, the crew managed to reach the Spice Island of Indonesia, where some crew members was captured. This resulted a small number of men escaping and fleeing to return to Spain.
In the late 1400s, a great new age of European exploration began, led by Portuguese, Spanish, and Italian sailors. They made great voyages into the unknown, full of danger, adventure, and discovery. In Europe, spices like cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg, which grew only in the Far East, were worth their weight in gold. Whoever controlled their trade was guaranteed immense wealth. By 1518, the route to the so-called Spice Islands was dominated by Portugal. Spain, once a route of its own, entered 38-year-old Portuguese sailor Ferdinand Magellan. He was a brilliant navigator who'd spent many years sailing the Indian Ocean, but had fallen out with the King of Portugal and now offered a bold plan to his rival, King Charles I of Spain. Magellan believed it was possible to sail around the New World and reach the Spice Islands from the east, since, contrary to popular myth, it had been widely accepted for centuries that the earth was round. King Charles accepted Magellan's proposal and helped him assemble an expedition with 270 crew and 5 ships. The fleet set sail on the 20th September 1519 and crossed a stormy Atlantic to reach the future site of Rio de Janeiro in modern Brazil. Here, the men traded with local tribes, exchanging simple objects like metal fishhooks and playing cards for fresh food and water. As Magellan searched for a passage west, one ship, the Santiago, was wrecked, though the crew were saved. Another ship, the San Antonio, deserted and sailed home, but Magellan did discover a 350-mile strait which now bears his name, the Strait of Magellan. Through to the far ocean, a sea that seemed so calm, he named it Mara Pacifico, the Peaceful Sea, or Pacific Ocean.
After their defeats against Lapu-Lapu, their former ally from Cebu turned on Magellan's crew, killing 30 of them in an ambush. The survivors fled, but with the numbers enough to crew 2 ships, they had to burn down the Conception ship and continued their journey search for Spice Island, where they reached their destination, the Spice or Maluku Islands, which is part of Indonesia today, and traded everything they had.
When they prepared to voyage home, The Trinidad sprang a leak and had to stay behind for repairs. Later in their voyage, most men got sick or died, which forced the survivors to return to Maluku Islands, where they and the Trinidad were captured by Portuguese. But the Victoria, the last and the smallest ship of Magellan, the last and the smallest ship of Magellan's ship sailed west for home, captained by Juan Sebastian Elcano. The men began to starve again after crossing the Indian Ocean for 9 weeks, and 29 crewmen died before they found fresh supplies at Cape Verde. On September 8, 1522, almost 3 years after their departure, the Victoria anchored at Seville, Spain, wherein 18 out of 270 men died and had made home. Henry advised the king to conspire and betray what's left of Magellan's men and acquire the ships and goods of Magellan's fleet. The king listened and held a gathering at Magellan's men, who were left at shore lying about, presenting the jewels he would spend to the king of Spain. Then and there they were killed. Then and there they killed all of the men in the gathering except Henry and Juan Serrano. Serrano, on the other hand, was presented to the men who had been left at the ship for ransom, but they refused and left Serrano behind. They left Cebu and continued their journey around the world. So here are our references that we used to create this PowerPoint. Thank you.